Alright, so I wanted to include a how to render video. It's one of the things I left off in the series, and this way, in case you didn't watch chat to get the render concepts down, you can watch this video. So rendering is nothing really big and hard within Maya, but you must have your scene kind of set up correctly with a good composition, and often students don't know what composition even means. So a good composition means that the final outcome is aesthetically pleasing to look at. A bad composition would be something like this. Nobody wants to see the front of the ground plane. Nobody wants to see the junk or the tidbits that might be flowing around. They want to simply see the building and some of the details that might be around it that are important. Okay, so whether you choose a good composition outside with the leading lines, and leading lines means you can see this line, it draws your attention inward into the painting or the render. Over in this area is the ideal spot to kind of put detail or something that you want them to pay attention to. So the law of 2/3 states that people will be looking over here, over here, over here, and over here the most when they actually look at some kind of render or painting or picture. So that 2/3 rule kind of is important. So if I wanted to draw attention to this pipe, I would put the pipe here, and then I would have a leading line going all the way down. Same with the inside, you have these cool leading lines that lead in. But if I wanted something of interest in the area of interest, I would rotate this around a little bit and have maybe these broken windows there. So how I got the cool green box is you go to View, you go to Camera Settings, and you turn on Resolution Gate. Anything within the green box gets rendered, anything out does not. So it's a great way to put it inside some kind of picture frame. Alright. One thing I should mention is, when you do render, you should have everything viewable. Okay, so here's a couple examples. Here, it might look a little darker in the video, but I can still see detail. None of the detail's gone. I just added a small point light over here to make sure that the shadows weren't too dark. Okay, I might even want to bump that up a little bit. Here, you got tons of detail, really cool long shadows that are appearing. Long shadow here, long shadow here. So those long shadows really add a lot of aesthetics to the scene. But in no way am I hiding anything from the viewer. Students are notorious for hiding flaws. So, case in point, just don't have any flaws and you'll be alright. But your students, you're gonna try to hide your seams and your bad bricks or something like that. Try not to do that. If you have to do it, look for something, a better composition to set it up as. And yeah, try to perfect those. You do have enough time period in this class to get those taken care of. So if you see something bad on a render, take some time to actually go in and repair it. Alright, so here are some of the things. One, always make sure that you have this dome. Okay, this dome right here is the indirect variation of lighting, and I went over that in one of the videos. That's very important to have that. And if you have the indirect variation, you have to have a couple settings on. So here's my render settings. Notice I have Mental Ray on. Mental Ray is also located in the plugin manager, and you have to turn it on using Maya Edit More. Put a check mark here and here. It should be good to go forever, or until it's not there again. Alright, so for quality, I want production quality. And I make sure that my ray tracing is set to 10, 10, 20, 1, 2, 1, 1. Okay, so that's already set down there. Over in features, I want to make sure that Final Gather is turned on. by the way, if you turn on production quality, it automatically unchecks Final Gather, so recheck it. And make sure your primary render is scanline. There is rasterization and ray tracing. Scanline looks about the best in my humble opinion. Render mode, you can look at these, but don't just have it on normal, because when you drop these down, it'll change all these things. Under common, I need a 1920 by 1080 render of the scene. So here's 1920 by 1080, and here's 72 resolution. Now, if you want to make this for a portfolio piece, you can certainly up the resolution to something like 150 or 300, and that way you can always keep it as an archival variation. So drop this down to 1080 HD, and then there you can change this number if you want. Now, once you upload it to Google Docs, it'll be a little bit smaller, but it'll still have the quality I'm looking for. So if you're posting it in the discussion board, know that it's not going to be 1920 by 1080. It's going to be something smaller than that, probably 1024 or something like that. But what I need is this render posted both in the discussion board, and I need the JPEG variation. So you can see in here under my clean warehouse, I've added the two JPEGs into the mix. I need them as JPEG, so when you do render them in the render window, it gives you the option to choose JPEG. If I render the current scene, it does take quite a bit of time, so I don't want to do that via video, but know that this whole entire area is going to be covered, and then when it's done, you can go File, Save Image As, or Save Image, and choose JPEG as the option. Alright, that's what I need as far as the presentation goes as the render is concerned. So please give me those renders, both in the discussion board and in the actual folder that you turn in. Alright, so that's it for rendering crash course. Enjoy.